All right, good morning, everyone. I now call this March 9th, 2026 meeting into order. We will start with the land acknowledgement. We acknowledge that the Students Union operates on the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and the Neutral peoples. This land is part of the Haldeman Tract, which is promised to the Six Nations, and we recognize the enduring presence of Indigenous peoples on this territory. I have not received any regrets as of right now, and so far, no absences, although Directors Anas and Ward should be taking their time to arrive. I do know they're on their way arriving. Okay. Are there any conflicts of interest to declare at this moment? Okay, as there are no conflicts of interest to declare, can I have a motion that the Board of Directors adopt the agenda as presented? Motion by Vice Chair Ferguson, seconded by Director Murphy. Is there any discussion on the matter?
Yeah. Should we change that now?
Yeah, I think first we adopt it and then we make an amendment. All right, then we shall proceed to voting. Can you quickly send your report to me? All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Director Bilodeau? Motion passes 0-0 to 8. Thank you. I would now like to make a motion to have an amendment to the agenda. Dr. Zhao? Thank you. 1 second. Okay, thank you. I just need to. Dr. Anas, welcome. An amendment to the agenda for two specific reasons. I would like to add one of the monitoring reports, GP2J, to the agenda that shall be dispersed to you all in a second. And as well, I would like to initiate an in-camera session for the quarterly midterm financial report from the Finance Committee that will also be dispersed to the board in a second. So can I have a motion that the Board of Directors amend the agenda? Welcome back. Welcome, Director Ward. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors, can I have an amendment to the agenda? Sorry, guys. First time doing this. Can I have a motion to make an amendment to the agenda to include an in-camera session for the financial report and adding GP2J monitoring report to the agenda? Motion by Director Khattab, seconded by Director Anas. Is there any discussion on the matter? No, okay, then we shall proceed to voting. All of those opposed? All of those abstaining? And all those in favor? Director Bilodeau, okay. Motion passes 0-0 to 10. No problem. Director Wood, thank you for joining us. I hope you're recovering from that cold. And please, Dr. Zhao. Okay, thank you. Okay, we shall now proceed to the adoption of the consent agenda, including the monitoring report. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors approved? Actually, no, should we just continue the discussion first? Okay, so for the consent agenda presented, there were 4 monitoring reports that I had worked on. GP2J, which works on the elections and annual meetings. GP2I, which is on CRO constraints. GP2F on the board committee principles, and GP2G board committee structures. I'll give you all a bit of so before you guys sign your lives away, I just wanted to tell you what I did. So you're signing your lives away to something that you know. GP2J was initially removed from this pile because I was doing some consulting, but I just added it. It's the work on the non-tuition fee protocol committee that discusses referendum questions and deemed them accurate to be presented to the board, after which we all passed it. Remember, we haven't had that discussion. There was one non-compliant, which is on GP2J 10, which says that the Board of Directors would approve a report of all elections results provided by the Chief Returning Officer at the minutes of the annual meeting at the next appropriate meeting of the board. While this information and this report is readily available on the Students' Union website, that wasn't sent into the board as a report to be approved, and thus I have deemed it non-compliant. However, we should be able to rectify that by the next meeting. So, yay, I'd say. Okay, moving on to GP2I, which is on the Chief Returning Officer constraints that I actually had a bit of a question there. Ian, how long has the SU had online voting? Was a bit of a question.
I'd have to go back to give you the exact number, but it's comfortably north of 10 years.
Was it 10 years?
So it's been quite a while. I'd have to go back and check to get you an exact date, but
Okay. Have there been any issues with our online voting in the past?
has there been any issues?
Yeah.
No, so the system is designed by Laurier's ICT program,
Okay.
which integrates it with single sign-on. So from a data security, privacy security standpoint, it's pretty, it's integrated with all of the other processes at the university. So no, we have not had any issues.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, and then continuing on the GP2I, there have been no reports of demerits or offenses in the election, and the CRO did good, so that also passed. I was in compliance. GP2F was the board committee principles that just spoke about board committees. And then GP2G spoke on board committee structures. As of now, the one note I had from that is that as of now, the standing committees we have are the DIC committee, the OLC, and the finance. All three of these committees have sent in their reports, except OLC and the DIC, which should be rectifying that by the next meeting. However, I have also deemed that to be compliant. Now, are there any questions or comments or concerns? No? Oh, you guys are just like, I did all that work. Wants to ask me a question. Okay. All right then. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors approve the consent agenda as presented? Motion by Vice Chair Ferguson, seconded by Director Anas. Is there any discussion on the matter? Okay. Then we shall proceed to voting. All those opposed? All those in favor? Motion passes 0-0. Oh, and all those abstaining. Motion passes 0-0 to 10. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so moving on to the approval of the meeting minutes from the February 23rd, 2026 meeting. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors approve the meeting minutes from the February 23rd, 2026 meeting? Motion by Director Murphy, seconded by Director Khattab. Is there any discussion on the matter? Director Bilodeau? Okay, and if there's no discussion, we shall proceed to voting. All of those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Motion passes 0-0 to 10. Thank you. Okay, moving on to comments from the Chair of the Board and CGO. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today. Today is an amazing day because we have our chair elections and our chair and vice chair elections and our new director-elect. So welcome all of you. I hope that I'd say you made some of the best decisions of your undergraduate lives today by joining the board. So welcome. To the rest of my directors, we have been invited to the Student Union's Gala on March 20th. I did send you an email to ask you to all RSVP. Have you all RSVP'd? Yes. Vice Chair Ferguson. As we have learned about Vice Chair Ferguson's priorities, it's not the board. For those of you online, yes. Thank you, Director Khattab. Wow. Thank you, Dr. Wade. You're on it. Thank you. Yes, and to those that will be standing in the elections here today, good luck. and I wish you all the best. And yes, so we don't have President Joby here with us today. Me too, but I'll be going. Let's go. Good job, Director. No, it is a Students' Union event. I believe you can bring a +1. No? You cannot bring a +1. My bad. Yeah. Okay. For the rest of you, I'll see you all there. Okay. President Joby will not be joining us today, but Danielle will. So go ahead.
Okay, so I was sent Brian's updates. So he apologizes for not being able to make it today. He's in a half-day CSAC or Comprehensive Student Services Advisory Council meeting where they're doing their year-in review. He did return from USA, so the Ontario Undergraduate Student Alliance, GA, which is General Assembly, last night. It was a 4-day, I won't call it a conference, but assembly that took place in London at Western University. Yes, again, they were there from Thursday until Sunday. The 3 policy papers that were up for review passed, those papers being the number 1, tuition, ancillary, and incidental fees. That's the first one. Second one being the student mobility and credit transfer, and the last one being artificial intelligence. Moving into more of a hiring side update, he is currently hiring for the Director of Athletics and Recreation, which is beginning this week with first round interviews. As well, internally to the Students' Union, we have our VP and AVP hiring that is still being conducted. We should have our incoming VP team finalized by Friday, hopefully. And then AVP hiring is just ongoing as that is a much larger process. And then hiring for the AVP of Student and Ancillary Services will start towards the end of March and the beginning of April. And Phil Champagne has been assigned as the SU representative for that committee. Moving into Ryan's committee work, he's been assigned to the Donald F. Morganson Award Adjudication Committee for assigning teaching awards to staff and faculty on campus. As well, as we mentioned earlier, CSAC is conducting their year-in review today. And then more on his personal projects and fun things. They have their student focus group that was conducted last week by himself and Shy Oak, 2 on the Waterloo campus, 1 on the Brantford campus. Those 2 went really well, or 3, I guess, went really well. And now Shy Oak and Ryan will be taking the information from those focus groups and the survey to formalize and synthesize the information. They ended up hitting 277 submissions to that survey, so a pretty good turnout on that. And lastly, the VP team will be serving at Wilf's this Thursday night. So if you want to come by, you can get wings, not on us, but we'll be delivering them to you because it's wing night. And then he is also speaking at the Toast to the Classes this term. I think there are 2, I could be wrong about that, but if you are graduating and attending those toasts, Ryan will see you there. That is all. I know I kind of went fast, but if you have any questions, I'll try my best to answer.
Thank you. Are there any questions for Danielle? No? Okay. I did have a question. Yes. You spoke about VP hiring. Is that for Brantford?
VP, like the SU VP hiring,
Yes.
right? Yes. Yeah. So we were able to secure 3 incoming VP positions being our, oh my gosh, internal operations, programming services Waterloo, and GSR, VP
Right.
GSR. And then outstanding, we reopened clubs and associations and programming services Brantford. So both should be hired by Friday.
By Friday? Okay. Thank you. And yes. Here. Okay. And so I would just like to propose a board dinner, guys, on Thursday for wings. Wing night. Technically, we're all SU, so SU will be serving SU. Nice, amazing. Okay, thank you so much, Danielle. If there are no other questions, then we'll proceed to Phil, but Phil isn't here, so are you taking over from Phil?
I don't have anything specifically from Phil, but I'll just point out that there is a brief in the package on the Ontario Student Assistance Program changes that were made by the government and some of the students' unions' early response to that. So happy to take any questions on that, but otherwise it's just in the package for your information.
Okay, thank you. I was gonna ask actually a question to Phil. How is the food services contract going so far? Is there any updates on that?
I don't have any updates from him on that, but I can relay that question.
Thank you, please do. All right, in terms of the OSAP changes, and are there any questions? No? No, okay. Yes, I do have a question, in fact. So I did see the work that the Students' Union has been doing so far in terms of the OSAP changes, which I think it's good. Have there been any sort of changes or any updates because of the work that we've been doing so far? Have we received any sort of feedback, any comments, anything of the sorts from either the government or any other process?
Not direct feedback from the government. There has been lots of feedback from opposition parties in terms of their support of some of the action on OSAP. So the legislature is still not sitting. So I know there are some plans for some formal motions in the Ontario legislature from opposition parties, but until they're back sitting, there's not a lot of movement there. And as mentioned in the brief, we're kind of welcoming any students who want to reach out and book a meeting. We're happy to meet with people who have specific concerns, but are still very much kind of promoting that letter writing campaign. It pre-populates for your home writing and then sends a specified message directly to your member of provincial parliament. So we're trying to kind of emphasize getting that message out to as many legislators as possible.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the other question that I had is as well when it comes to that OSAP, because of the fact that OSAP is changing its policies, there'll be a lot of students that will be need next year. Is the SU working on a way to meet that demand for students? Like in terms of
Are you talking about from a recruitment perspective, or
from like the bursaries perspective or any funds or something of this?
Yeah, so it's still too early to tell exactly what the ramifications will be, just because OSAP also includes student financial aid that comes from the federal government. So there's some unpacking in terms of how much of the grants that students would be receiving comes from that federal contribution, from the provincial contribution. I know the university is still looking for the technical briefing on how the changes will come into play. There's some changes to the student access guarantee, which then has differing impacts on the amount of financial aid that is provided by institutions. So I know everyone is trying to minimize the impacts as much as possible, but we're still kind of early days in knowing exactly what that impact will be. But all of those things are certainly front and center, and OSAP will be at top of the advocacy priority list for quite some time.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Okay, then thank you for that brief, and we'll continue on. Moving on to the Direct Inspection Committee Unity, what is it? Yeah, the Direct Inspection Committee, BMD2A Unity of Control. Do you want to take that over, Ian?
Sure. So I took that back with the feedback that the Direct Inspection Committee provided. Workshopped a couple different options, trying to balance kind of the clarity that it seemed like the board was looking for, as well as trying to maintain the kind of core of the instructions. So there's 3 different options there. Kind of leave it to the board to figure out if there's one of those that kind of most accurately kind of addresses what you were hoping to see.
Okay, thank you, Ian. Do you have any comments, any feedback, any opinions? Vice Chair Ferguson?
Yeah, I mean, I think the third one encompasses everything that we were trying to say. It's less wordy in terms of having actual quantitative things that we can measure. I'd say move for the third one, to be honest. Yeah.
Okay. Do you all agree with that? Directors? Cool. Director Ennis? Okay, thank you. Huh? Okay. All right. I agree with the third option as well. Okay. Is it, I did have a question though. Is it operationally disruptive or just operational disruptive?
We can certainly add an LY on there. Do you think that makes more sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, thank you. That passes as well. I believe the next discussion is the strategic,
So you'll just have to motion to make that change.
Oh.
Actually.
yes, my bad. Okay, can I have a motion that the Board of Directors approves the change on the board BMD Unity 2A that includes the third option? Motion by Dr. Murphy, seconded by Dr. O'Leary. Is there any discussion on the matter? No, okay, then can we proceed to voting? All of those opposed? All of those abstaining? And all of those in favor? Motion passes 0-0 to 10. Thank you. Moving on to the strategic plan. Ian, would you like to take that?
Yeah, so this picks up on the conversation that we had last meeting as well. Basically, the proposal here is to remove a little bit of the duplication that exists in some of our strategic documents. So the policy governance system, the way that it's set up, sets the ends policy as essentially the strategic goal and purpose of the organization. And then we have a mission, vision, and guiding principles that provides clarity. So we've done a couple cycles of strategic plans. But operationally, I think the reflection is those are kind of unnecessarily repetitive of what we already have, especially when you factor in that from a annual operational level, each president comes in with their plan for the year. VPs develop departmental plans. So we think that there's no harm in kind of sticking with the ends policy is that kind of continually reviewed strategic purpose. It's part of the direct inspection committee cycle, so the board has eyes on it every 4 years. There's always an opportunity during that time to strike an ad hoc committee if the board feels like the ends is no longer properly reflective of the strategic goals. So you already have those kind of checks built in, and there's just a couple proposed motions here to kind of clean up the policy manual to reflect that. But I think from a governance standpoint and just a general strategic lens, I think this probably makes sense and just removes the opportunities for us to have conflicting strategic documents.
Perfect, thank you. Are there any questions for Ian at this moment? Any comments, any concerns? Pretty self-explanatory. No? Okay, thank you. Okay, I agree with that as well. So, okay, I'll call for a motion. Can I have a motion that the Board of Directors approves the recommended change for EL2G 14, which will be amended to a formal report on the progress of the President's annual plan at the end of each fiscal year, and motion GP2G2, which states that which would change the policy from the review and assess budgetary compliance with ends policies and strategic plan to just the ends policies. Is there any comments or concerns on the matter? No. Okay, then we shall proceed to voting. All those opposed? All those abstaining? And all those in favor? Dr. Ward? Motion passes 0-0 to 10. Thank you all. Congratulations. Moving on to the discussion on the Portugal agreement on non-tuition fees.
Yes, so this is a tripartite agreement between the Students' Union, the University, and the Graduate Student Association. So a non-tuition fee protocol is a agreement that we are required to have through directive of the provincial government. It's essentially an oversight mechanism for ancillary fees. So this allows students to have participation in the process of both the imposition of new ancillary fees and the review of existing fees. Our committee also uses that as an opportunity to review proposed changes to tuition as well as fees for service. So this agreement is coming up on expiry at the end of April. So what you have before you is a pretty straightforward renewal of the existing agreement. There are not any substantive changes. The ministry changes its name on a pretty regular basis. So the name of the ministry has been updated. are the university's mechanism for calculating inflation. Some, again, technical changes, but there haven't been any major changes. We are, as the brief alludes to, anticipating potentially some changes to how ancillary fees are levied as a result of some recently passed legislation, Bill 33, an act to amend various acts in relation to child, youth, and family services, education, and colleges and universities. However, as the brief notes, there's a provision in there that allows us to revisit the agreement should there be regulatory changes. So this is just a fairly routine update with the footnote that we'll likely be returning to it before this iteration of the agreement expires. So happy to answer any questions, but pretty standard.
Okay, thank you. I just have a question. So the agreement renews every 3 years, right?
I think we have done, we did a 3-year agreement for this one, reflecting that there had been some changes within ancillary fee directives. So the agreements have been kept short, recognizing that that regulatory framework is in a bit of flux. So that's what we've been doing at this time, just to give some flexibility.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions? No? Okay. I believe this is a for discussion, right? So no motion?
Actually, the board does need to approve.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been approved by the so the steps of how this works is that the Committee on Non-Tuition Fee Assessment approves the changes, and then they go to respective governance bodies. So the agreement will, in addition to coming here, will also go to the board of the Graduate Student Association and also the university's board of governors. So once it's been approved by all 3 governance bodies, then it would be ready to take effect as of May 1st.
Okay, all right then. Can I have a motion that the board of directors approves the non-tuition fee protocol agreement renewal that would start on May 1st, 2026? Motion by Vice Chair Ferguson, seconded by Director Arnaz. Is there any discussion on the matter? Okay, then we shall proceed to voting. All of those opposed? All of those abstaining? And all of those in favor? Motion passes 0-0 to 10. Thank you and congratulations. Okay, I now believe that we shall be proceeding to the chair and vice chair election. Dr. Zhao, do you have any questions? No? Okay. At this point, I'll ask all of our director-elects to join join us here over here. So yeah, come on. The way that this process will work is 1 second. Thank you. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna cut. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You have your microphones next to you. All right, so this will be very okay, perfect. I'm gonna here's what it's doing. Here's what it's doing. Here's what it's doing. Sorry, everyone, technical difficulties. Okay. So
Absolutely. Before you start, do you want to maybe just indicate for the minutes who's present here of the incoming board?
yes.
Just given it's a mix of new directors and returning.
Okay, yes. Sorry, what did you say?
Just maybe list who all is here from the incoming board.
Okay. Who all is here from the incoming board? Okay, do you guys want to introduce yourselves? Yes. In the mic, yes.
I'm Nicholas Germain.
Director-elect Jermaine, thank you.
I'm Renato Bashir.
Director-elect Bashir,
And I'm Nia Bailey.
welcome. Director-elect Bailey. And to those of you online who are returning, you'd also return you'd also be returning, my friend. Yes.
Roy Ferguson again.
Okay, thank you.
Soab Anas.
I'm Caitlin O'Leary.
I'm Connell Murphy.
Hello, I'm Adam Ward.
Okay, thank you. Ian, do we have quorum with our new director-elects?
We have 11 incoming because we still have the one empty Brantford spot. So we've
Yes.
got 1, 2, we've got 6, 7, 8. Are you returning to?
Yes,
So we've got 8. So we've got 8 of 11.
8 to 11.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so do have quorum. Okay, great. For the next process of the election, Directors Bilodeau, Directors Zhao, Murphy, and Katab, you're technically not going to be voting in this election because it is for the incoming chair and vice chair. However, I will ask you not to leave the meeting because after this election, we will have an in-camera meeting. So, stay put, watch. Just remember last year, this was us, and now it's not you. Okay, thank you, Dr. Zhao. All right, now, director-elects, the way that this process will happen is I'll give you about 2 minutes to 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes of a buffer time to introduce yourselves, give us an intro, plans and vision. Before that, there will be a nomination process. So whoever nominates themselves to run for chair and vice chair next year will either you have someone nominate you or you can nominate yourself as well. Yes, so you have about 2 minutes to introduce yourselves, and then we'll ask about 1 to 2 questions depending on time. At which point you have about 2 minutes, 1.5 to 2 minutes to answer that question. And yes, so the election will happen by paper ballot. Those of you that are online, I will ask you to send me an email with your you want.
They can email sucro@wu.ca. I have access to that.
Yeah, that's okay. Okay, email sucro at online. That is, I believe, Manjot anyways. So you'll be able to email them and then we will have access to that email and be able to ascertain your votes. Yes. Okay. Do you have any questions? That was a lot of information, guys. Any questions? No? No? Straightforward process? Yep. Okay. A bit of a description if you guys would need one. The chair is my position, and I'd sort of lead the board in discussions and meetings, as you've seen. But the board would sort of vote as one, and we are one person, if you want to say it that way. So whatever it is that we say or whatever it is that we vote on would be the voice of the board itself. So the chair wouldn't be like an outsider or someone that would be able to speak on their own. Like the board would speak for everyone. Make sense? I had like a much better speech in my mind. And then the vice chair would sort of be the person that would assist the chair in any matters. And the way that it works is that if the chair is not around, then the vice chair would act as the acting chair. So pretty straightforward process. My vice chair is Vice Chair Ferguson. How are you feeling today? Good. Okay. Now, not making fun of this, but last year we had the same position, remember? Yeah. Guys, this was like a year ago. It was great. Okay. And with that, we will start with any questions, any comments, any concerns? You have an idea? Any questions you might have? Yes. Use your microphone. Yeah.
It's the mic itself. Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, we're just introducing ourselves.
If you're running.
Oh, okay. No.
Yeah.
If we get nominated and we don't want to run,
Then you
we
use.
just say no.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why is that the question you're asking, Director Lecture? Anyways. Yeah. You can't do that. Okay, perfect. So.
Corey Ferguson.
I do stand.
Okay, perfect. We have 1 nomination for the chair election. Are there any other nominations? Wow. I wish my chair election was this easy. Director Arnaz? I'd like to nominate Director Arnaz. Oh, wait, you do have a nomination. Oh, thank you. Director Arnaz, do you stand? You can't say no.
I stand.
This is so fun for me. Okay, thank you. Are there any other nominations for the chair election at this time? Okay. These are our nominations. So we have nominations from Vice Chair Ferguson and Director Anas, who will be standing for the chair election. You'll each be given about 2 minutes. Give us an intro, your plans and your vision, and who you are and what you like to do for the board. Ian, will you be keeping time? Thank you, Ian. And after that point, I'll ask you 2 questions. I can either ask you or the board can ask you these questions. So guys, I'll be asking you guys to ask your questions. These are people that are studying to be your chair. So feel free to ask whatever it is that you'd like to ask. About then you'll have to give 2 minutes, and then we will proceed to the voting. So who would like to go first?
Sorry, you said 2 minutes?
2 minutes.
Okay.
We should do like a what is it? Rock, paper, scissors. See who wins.
Do rock, paper, scissors? On shoot. Go ahead.
Introduce myself?
Yeah. Time for your intro, time who you are. How long you work.
Hello, everybody. My name is Sawab. I've been on the board for 1 year. I also acted as I was in multiple committees this year, including OLC and DIC, which basically means policy checking and outreach. One thing that I realized this year is we need more board PR. So I think for my vision for the board, I would be reaching out almost like every other week. I would almost have like a mission plan at the start of the year where we constantly like reach out to the students and get feedback. I do not think we did a lot this year. That's more than most, but I would like to do better. In terms of like normal, just general leadership, I look at I set objectives and then I do results driven leadership. So at the end of the year, I'll also look down. I want like a long list of results, and I will kind of go go off that. So yeah, that's my thing.
Vice Chair Ferguson?
All right, hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Corey Ferguson, and I'm a 4th-year economics student here at Laurier. Over the past year, I've had the privilege of serving as vice chair of the board, and my experience as vice chair has given me a strong understanding of how the board functions, what this role requires, and what good leadership truly is. I'm running for chair because I believe I'm well prepared to step into the role. Over the past year, I've been involved in many board discussions, built strong relationships with members of the board already and who are continuing to be members of the board. And I've also participated in committee work. I currently serve as the co-chair for the Finance Committee, and I've also been involved in DIC and OLC meetings as well. My Laurier volunteer experience is extensive. I came to Laurier 4 years ago, and I immediately made it my mission to join as many, be as involved on campus as possible. I started in the first-year leadership program, where I was VP of Operations for Bricker Residents. Then in my second year, I joined SU Hiring and Recruitment, where I'm currently serving as the training executive and volunteer liaison. I also served as a head icebreaker this past fall and founded my own SU-affiliated club. All of this to say I'm well-versed in many areas of the student union. The bottom line is people know me. I'm recognized in the hallways as a positive face of SU, and people come to me when there's an issue because they know I get it done. I understand what the responsibility that this calls for. I know how to keep meetings moving. I know how to keep meaningful conversation as well. I know how to create a space where people speak freely and how to keep conversations focused and respectful even when they become difficult. The bottom line is I'm not stepping into this role for the first time. I'm stepping into it prepared because I had vice chair as a stepping stone this year. What makes me the best candidate for the role is because I care about the students' union and I've already shown my commitment to it. I come in with ample experience and I come in prepared and I come in ready to help this board. It would be an honor to serve as your chair.
Okay, thank you. Those were great speeches.
Sorry, was your mic muted during the
Oh.
question?
Okay. Now it's not muted.
Now it's not muted.
I will say that if the sort of expectation for all directors of the board is that you keep the board as your number one priority outside of school. So that means that the board would be a priority. Was it in the Navy? But that expression is reasonably higher for the chair of the board. So in the interest of your other extracurricular activities and your committees that will be competing with the board, how will you ensure that the board will be your number one priority?
All right. So I'll answer the question first. Personally, so the board has been my number one priority this year, even with all my extracurricular activities. And one of the things that I realized was I did have a lot on my plate this year. So how I've been able to rectify that for the next year is to basically make my board my number one priority and my sole priority. I don't have many other commitments other than school next year. So I've already planned to run for chair. I made that decision at the start of this year. And I've cleared my plate for next year. So the board will be my sole priority. I'll make sure everything's done on a timely, in a timely fashion. And like I said, I've spent a year on the board, so I understand the work we do and the time commitment it requires, and I'm well ready to suit that.
Thank you, Dr. Anas.
So kind of echoing what Corey said, this start of the year, I was told that the board is going to be top priority. So I did distance myself from all my other roles and gave them notice that I will be busy. So I kind of this year, I think I've shown a lot of initiative, I guess, by like being the person that goes to Brantford a lot to do PR, even though I'm a Waterloo student. So even when it comes to a time where obviously board is being the board being highest priority is difficult, I still did it, I guess. In terms of clubs and stuff, I did step down from all my other clubs last year, so that means I have nothing but school internships and this to do, which means I do give a lot of attention to this, as I do care about representing all the students fairly.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? Thank you. We'll now proceed to voting. To those that are online, please send your vote or email your vote to the email that's in the chat, su@wu.ca.
You're not voting. Waiting for you to vote.
Yes. Gonna vote?
Need full name or just
This is dun, 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 dun. I wish we could do like a drum roll.
small?
Yes, 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 yes. Okay. So we've had a rigorous voting process, everyone, and we counted the votes, and we would say that there was a good number of votes, but we do have a winner, and this is very fun. So, what do you think it is? Okay, and the winner and the chair for next year's board of directors from 2026 to 2027, whose term will be starting on May 1st, is, drum roll please, Chair-elect Ferguson. Good job, good job, good job. Okay. Okay. Chair-elect Ferguson, I wish you the best next year. I will be here to watch you do everything wrong. Just know that whatever you said about me will not stand. I have written everything down. We'll see next year. Okay, and with that, we continue. We shall proceed to the vice chair election. Now, as I said earlier, the vice chair is supposed to act as someone that the chair can depend on in the chances that the chair is not around, the vice chair would act as the acting chair, so they would be able to run the meetings or complete any monitoring reports. Oh yeah, by the way, good luck on monitoring reports. You're welcome. That's what my chair told me when I got elected. Okay, so are there any nominations for the vice chair?
I nominate Lulia.
I nominate Swabanas.
Okay.
I also nominate Nicholas Germain.
Okay, there's a lot of nominations. Director-elect Germain, do you stand?
I'll sit.
No? Oh, okay. Well, I like how you did that. Okay. Any nominations?
You can also nominate yourself. Or I can nominate you.
There are 2 nominations for Director Anas. Director Anas, do you stand?
I stand.
Perfect, thank you. We have 1 nomination. I do not stand, so.
Director O'Leary.
Director O'Leary, do you stand? Yes. Oh, wow. So we have 2 nominations for vice chair. Okay, listen, you're right. Chair-elect. Okay. Dr. Ward, do you stand? Okay. So right now we have 2 nominations, Directors O'Leary and Director Anas. Are there any other nominations at this time? I'd like to nominate Director-elect Bailey. Do you stand?
I stand.
Okay. So we have 3 nominations for the vice chair election. Are there any more before I do end it? I'd like to nominate Director-elect Bashir. Do you stand?
I do not stand.
Okay. All right then. With that, we will end the nomination process. We have nominations, Directors-elect Anas, Bailey, and O'Leary. Is there any discussion on the matter before we proceed to voting? Sorry, wait, sorry. Whoa. Okay, then we shall have the same process as we did earlier, 2-minute intro, and then questions, and then we shall proceed to voting. So, who would like to go first? Actually, I wish Dr. O'Leary was in person to read the rock, paper, scissors shit again. But we'll proceed. We'll start this way. We'll go with Dr. Anas, Director-elect Bailey, and then Director-elect O'Leary.
Do I have to introduce myself?
We can talk a bit about why you'd be a good vice chair.
Hey, hello everybody. So one thing I did this year a lot was work close with Lulia on almost everything's board of directors, minus some of the more monitoring reports and all that. But like I did get a really good idea of how the board runs and what a chair needs. And another thing is I think I can step up where if Corey needs to take a step back, I can also step up. So just based on that, like I've showed initiative where I've taken leadership over things that are being oversought, I guess. So yeah, based on all that, I think I'll be a decent chair, vice chair.
And this is a coup enormous. Thank you, Dr. Anas. Dr. Bailey?
Hi, I'm Mia Bailey. I'm a third year psychology student at Waterloo campus. The reason I think I would be good with chair is I've taken lots of initiatives within our school from BSA, from being other directors, from being part of other committees as well. I'm part of like Young Liberals and KW. I've taken a lot of initiatives with leadership and making a difference within our community, especially I feel like I'm good with speaking on behalf of others and supporting where it needs to be. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Bailey. Okay, Dr. O'Leary?
Hi guys. I'm Caitlin. I've been on the board for like 6 months probably now. I joined during an interim election. I'm from the Brantford campus, and since I've joined, I've done a lot of like advocacy for Brantford specifically. Um, and I think that I'll continue to do that whether or not I get the vice chair or not. Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't prepared for this. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank you, Dr. O'Leary. Again, if there, this is a time where we'll ask you guys any questions. Are there any questions for the candidates? Do you want to ask them a question, Chair-elect? Yes. This will be your vice chair.
You know what? I'll ask the same question that you asked me. So with the board, it's become apparent that it is a big time commitment. What commitments do you have going into the next year that sorry, let me rephrase. The the commitment of the board is definitely a dense commitment. And with that being said, how do you plan to balance that as well as support your chair in the upcoming year?
Let's go the other side. So Dr. O'Leary, we'll start with you, Dr. Bailey, and then Dr. Anas.
Going into next year, I don't have any big commitments. I mean, I have like my extracurriculars in school. Like a lot of you guys know, that I have a horse, so obviously that's probably my biggest responsibility outside of the board, but thankfully that like I can kind of decide when to do that myself. So I am able to dedicate a lot of time to the board like I have been doing this year. I mean, it's unfortunate I'm online today, but I always do try to come in person, even though I am from the Brantford campus.
Thank you, Dr. O'Leary. Dr. Bailey?
Well, I do actually have other commitments outside of the board, but honestly, I've never done one thing just by itself. So I'm pretty confident in multitasking or doing more than one role at a time, as I've been doing that ever since high school. I feel like as long as it is a priority, then I will prioritize it and prioritize you.
Thank you. Dr. Anas?
As I've shown this last year, I have been able to balance a lot of things, more so academically. I've taken multiple like full course loads and also had external commitments. But one thing I'm always there for is the board. Like night or day, I'll actually like go over and beyond for the board. So I think, yeah, that's really like I've shown that I've done it before, so I know I can do it. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. Those are great speeches. I don't have a question for you. Do you have a follow-up question? No? Okay. In that case, we'll proceed to voting. Thank you all. I wish you all the best of luck. And I hope that if I could, I'd let all of you guys win. That's also an option that you have. We'd have one official vice chair who would win the election, but the chair at his discretion can also have other directors sort of. Yes, you can vote for yourself. Yes. But at the discretion of the chair, the other directors can also work as can have some of the vice chair's official duties. It's a way for anyone here to gain more experience and also lighten the course load from the vice chair, which is something that Director Anas was doing last year as well. So that's something that you can keep in mind. Okay. So who are you voting for, Chair-elect? Go for it. I'd like to thank you all for voting. So once again, this was a very rigorous voting process. There was a lot of votes that were taken in, and we do have a winner. Now, if I was the chair next year, I would have had all three of you because all of you were very qualified candidates. However, chair-elect here is actually mean and wants one VP vice chair for some reason. Nice. So the vice chair for next year is, drumroll please, Director O'Leary. Congratulations. Yay. Okay, perfect. Thank you all so much. With that being said, I'd like to thank all of you Director-elects for coming to this meeting. To the rest of you that did not win, I apologize because you didn't win. But I hope that next year you have an amazing year here on the board. You will, definitely. And you also have the option of course, Chair-elect's work Ferguson's discretion. So good luck and thank you all for coming and joining us today. We do have to proceed to an in-camera session, so that means I would have to ask you to leave the meeting at this time. Thank you all for coming. No worries. I I hope your foray into the board was fun this year. And we can go on a 2-minute break, guys. We're gonna go, and then we shall proceed to in camera. Do I usually make a motion for in camera? Goodbye. Do I usually make a motion for in camera? Yes, I do. Okay. So can I have a motion that the board of directors proceeds to in-camera session? Motion by Vice Chair Ferguson, seconded by Director O'Leary. Is there any discussion on the matter? No, then we shall proceed to voting. All of those opposed? All those abstaining? And all of those in favor? Director Bilodeau? Motion passes 0-0 to 10. I'll see you all.